and she
Yeah,
defied
yeah.
the odds. Yeah, gone.
I mean, I was only going to say she was born with this eye condition,
Yeah, that's
um,
it.
which sort of limited. It was something to do with, I think, the center of her eye. But anyway, she had three operations as a very young child to try and correct this. And I don't know what it's called, her particular issue, but it's never been corrected. I mean, she still has this condition. Whether
Yeah,
they improved it along the way, I don't know, but she
yeah,
definitely still has it. So, yeah, it is a bit incredible that someone in a top level of a sport in football, where
yeah.
you really, especially a goalkeeper, more than anybody else, you need
Your
good
eyes.
eyesight.
Yeah,
Then, if you've got some sort of defect, which she clearly has, then
yeah,
actually it enhances what she does even more, because
yeah.
we are all so dependent in anything we do with our eyesight.
Eyes. Yeah,
So the fact that she has less than perfect eyesight is obviously an incredible tribute to her, really, her determination, as well as whatever the disadvantage may be, she somehow compensates for it, doesn't she?
yeah.
Incredible.
I know. Yeah. When I read that, I can't remember if I read it or heard it on television. I thought, wow, she defied that to then
Yeah,
be a top goalkeeper, number one
yeah.
for England. That's an incredible feat.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. So, just moving on from that, Pep Guardiola, he says, I don't know how long I'll stop for, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 15, I don't know, but I will leave after this spell with City. So is he hinting that he's gonna, that after his contract is gonna be gone?
Yeah, I mean, did he actually say? I didn't hear the quote, but did he actually say it might be 1, 2, 5, 10, 15? Did he say that, or have you just
Yes.
said that? Did he
No, no,
actually
I've
said
just
that?
I've, I've just read it
Oh, I
off an article.
see. Okay.
Yeah, off
Yeah,
an
I mean,
article. Yeah.
I thought I've heard him because he's contracted, I think, until 2027. So
Right.
what? That's 2 years, probably to the end of the season after next. In fact, I originally thought he was only contracted till the end of next season, but I think I read that he's contracted for 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know whether much depends on his domestic situation,
Right.
because I didn't we read a few months ago that he's reunited with his wife, and a lot of the problems they had was because he didn't leave City a couple of years ago, the end of one of the successful seasons, and
Yeah.
obviously that caused a bit of a split. I don't know whether she ever lived out here over here with him. She may well have done, or whether she
Yeah.
has come back. But I would have thought much more depends on that. I think his wife will have quite a bearing, I imagine, on how long he's going to stay for. I can totally understand anybody like Pep thinking, I've got to do at least one more year. I can't leave there after, I forget when he came. Was it like 17 or something like that, 2017?
Mm.
I can't leave after, by City standards, such a bad season where they had a poor games in the league, poor position at the end. And I might just throw in they lost the FA Cup final to a very good team called Crystal Palace, but which they would have been the favourites to win that.
Yeah.
So I don't believe they won a trophy, did they? They were trophyless throughout the season, and I don't
Yeah.
think he'll want to leave that as his swan song, as his last season to be remembered by. Because let's face it, people, because they were so good, City, people will remember if he'd gone now. Oh, what a shame for Pep. He did brilliantly, but then his last season and all of his achievements, I'm not saying they would disappear. They're on the
Yeah.
record, but in the customers, in the supporters, in football people, in their mind is that City had a terrible season. Now he's not going to want to leave it like that season. Now he's not going to want to leave it like that. So I would guess he's going to be there at least for the next season, and hopefully he'll want to regain some of what they had.
Yeah.
Whether they will, I mean, we all tend to think, well, they've bought more players and they've got Rodri back, but sometimes these things, excuse me, in any sphere are of the moment. City's moment was for quite a few years being on the top of the league, and everything they touched was gold. A bit like Man United a few years ago when Ferguson was there, they
Yeah.
couldn't lose a game. They won. They were favourites for everything, and they did it. They won a lot of things. But what that did pass along with Ferguson, and they never so far recaptured that. And I just wonder whether, you know, there's such an expectation on Manchester City players, and of course there still will be players they've had playing again this coming season,
Yeah.
and maybe some of those players are not, if not physically, sort of psychologically over that particular hill in their careers. I mean, they've got rid of De Bruyne,
Yeah.
who personally I still think they should have kept.
He should
I get
get.
the impression from listening to him at press conferences and after matches when he was interviewed, I got the impression he didn't want to go. He was saying,
Yeah.
well, like he didn't want to say they don't offer me a contract, but to that effect. And they could have kept him because I still think he had another season in him at the top level. As it
Mm.
was, he wasn't starting matches for quite a long time last season because clearly Pep felt he wasn't doing it. But if you give De Bruyne the confidence of knowing he's going to start, he'll open up the goal time and time again, I would have thought. So
Yeah.
maybe the risk is he's thrown out the baby with the bathwater, that by getting rid of some of these players, some I can understand. I think Grealish will do better elsewhere, for example.
Mm.
But maybe Bernardo Silva, I mean, he's a good little player, but I just think he's not good enough now to stay on at that level. I don't know how old he is. He may not be that old. And
Yeah.
as I say, he's a brilliant player, but sometimes you do need to rejig things, and maybe he's doing that in some cases and not others. So yeah, I would think we're going to see Pep. I will actually predict, and this will be on record here. I predict that Pep will go at the end of the coming season, next June or May, whenever, having won a couple of trophies, maybe the league, maybe not. I think he'll be satisfied with that, and I think he'll go. Now, you've heard it here first.
You've heard it here first. This is good.
That's my view, my considered opinion.
Yeah. So, Saudis claim yet another victim. Chelsea's Joe Felix.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so it,